this one hen and a cow? I mean, so there were very many questions, especially to the public out there. But nevertheless, this exercise was conducted and it ended. However, we want to evaluate it. We want to see what exactly happened. I mean, how was the exercise and the performance at large? So with us is Mr. Joram Magezi, who is the director in charge of leadership code at the Inspectorate of Government. It's a pleasure having you this morning, sir.
Same to you.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, and good morning, viewers.
How is the Inspectorate?
The Inspectorate of Government is okay.
Okay.
And greetings from the leadership of the Inspectorate of Government.
Wow, we are delighted to have you this morning. Now, we want to talk about the performance, especially on the March 2025 declaration of incomes, assets, and liabilities by specified leaders. But the biggest question is always why? So, the Inspectorate of Government asks leaders to declare these as who? Where do they get the mandate? Where do they get the authority? to tell people to come to them and declare their assets and liabilities and incomes.
Yeah, good morning, viewers. Once again, as been introduced, I'm Joram Magezi. I'm the director in charge of leadership code at Inspectorate of Government. I'm here to discuss the March 2025 Leaders' Declaration of the Income, Assets and Liabilities exercise, the whole process of how it went and what next. But before I proceed, allow me to first thank the proprietors of Family TV and management for giving us free time to come and discuss such important issues in the nation. Also, allow me to take this opportunity to thank everybody I found around who welcomed me very well, plus my moderator here for the support. Now, to go to your question, Leaders' Declaration of Income, Assets and Liabilities exercise was conducted, first of all, from 1st March up to 31st March 2025. What is it all about? And why is it all about the declaration? First of all, I would like to say that it is a legal requirement by the Constitution of Uganda, Chapter 14, and also the Leadership Code Act. And Section 4 of the Leadership Code Act empowers the Inspectorate of Government together with the Leadership Code Tribunal to enforce the Leadership Code. This has the genesis right from 10-point program of NRM. Point number 7 talks about fighting corruption. And when they came to power, they constitutionalized it into the Constitution and also formed that Leadership Code. The Leadership Code, basically, it is all about regulating leaders' minimum way of living. Now, again, why it has to be so is that surely the public offices, we are occupying them in trust of the people. They are people's offices, so people want to really monitor and see how we are really carrying on with the public offices. And the Leadership Code Act is one of the issues that can regulate corruption.
Okay.
Also, as we all know, that corruption, especially like bribery, is very difficult to get at source. But at the end of the day, somebody will have to go and invest the money in assets, or he has to live a style or lifestyle of which is above his income or the sources of his known income. So it is at that level that you can tell whether somebody is okay or is not okay in terms of running the public office. From there, I would say that who are the leaders, as you say.
Because that is also another big
question. We have two categories of leaders. The political leaders, those who are elected in offices, and then the technical specified leaders, those who are appointed in offices. Schedule 2 of the Leadership Code Act Cap 33 list down all those leaders who are supposed to declare. And they include, as political leaders, start from His Excellency the President, to the members of Parliament, to LC5 chairpersons, up to the LC3 and the deputies. Now, on the technical side, you start with the ministry.
The chairperson, L1, is also elected.
No, but he is not included in that schedule as a leader for that case, because it assumed that he is not handling any resources. You know, they have been complaining up to this time that they are not paid. They don't, so they don't control government resources. That's why they were excluded from the leadership. Then on the technical side, you start from the ministries, the ministers, the permanent secretaries, heads of departments, up to the level of section heads. The same with local governments. You also start from the COW, the chief administrative officers, the deputies, the town treasurer, the town clerks, and then there are leaders who are specifically specified, the leaders of agencies, like the Uganda Revenue Authority and the entire staff, all of them, the Auditor General and the entire staff, because they were presumed that they are handling very highly sensitive offices. You come to police, start from ASP up to the IGP. All those are leaders who declare. The same with prisons. And all the auditors in the government, whether you are junior or senior, because it is assumed that they handle sensitive activities, or accountants, and all the officers that are involved in the procurements. And for the districts, you move up to the district service commissions, the land boards, and all those are leaders. So Schedule 2 of the Leadership Code Act lists all those as leaders, including judiciary, right from the junior person up to the highest level. All of those are included in that list.
Okay.
So, and the leaders, the law says that the moment you are appointed into the office of the leadership, within 3 months, you should have declared your income, assets, and liabilities. And thereafter, every 2 years in the month of March. So, like 2023, we were declared 2021, 2025 as you move down. So now from 2021, 2023, 2025, now March, we expect so them to again declare in 2025. I could also mention that there is another category of leader of which the law also included as per the amendment of 2021. All the public officers are supposed also now to declare to the Inspectorate of Government all their income, assets, and liabilities. And these ones do it also after appointment within 3 months, but for them it is after every 5 months, because it was assumed that their rate of accumulation of assets may be lower as you move down to the public officers. They last declared in 2021 after the amendment of the Leadership Code, and they are now going to declare next year in the March of April 2026.
Well, for them, they don't declare in March, they declare in April.
They declare in April.
Oh.
Yes.
So, after having looked at that, and we know the jurisdiction of the Inspectorate of Government, especially when it comes to the declaration. Now, the question is the process. Because also, someone might be asking, how does it all happen? For example, when I come to you as the officer, do I stand and I say, okay, Edrine Mukalazi, I have a house, I have this and this and this. I mean, someone would really want to know how it all happens.
Yeah, I agree with you, of course. Yes. I would say that the process starts with compiling the readers register, of which we do with the use of all accounting officers in the institutions where the readers are. They capture the details, including their phones, their emails, and then they submit the Inspectorate of Government. And the Inspectorate of Government put all their details on the IG ODS system. We have an online system. Earlier on, we used it to take forms to the people. All the leaders, they fill, and then we bring them back to the headquarters and process and whatever. But we digitalized that process. We have the IG ODS system, that is the Inspectorate of Government Online Declaration System, of where that register is put on that, and then when time comes, like it was in March for declaration, the leaders just go into the system, declare their income, assets, and liabilities, and submit. So you don't need really to come to the Inspectorate of Government office, anywhere you are, so long as you have data. You have a gadget like the phone or laptop or computer. You can just go into that system through our website. Then you declare and submit. But of course, in the process, you will be assisted because you have to be given the token to enter the system. Because and once you are not declared, the system can't give you a token to enter. So you must be already, when you have already submitted your details on that leader's register. That is so the message is sent to your phone or your email. This is done to prevent, intruders from entering into the system who are not supposed to declare, who want just maybe pick people's information and whatever. Then when you complete, it also gives you a token to cross, and you cross and submit. The moment you cross and submit, mind you can't access it again. So now, no, if you are going to it can't allow you to access it. If you are to access it, you have to write to the Inspector General of Government, who will open for you the system and give you copy of your declaration. Because towards the end of the declaration, the system reminds you that you first copy or print and have your own copy of declaration. But in an event that you forget and you go ahead and submit, it closes you out. Also, it is for privacy and trying to secure people's data.
Because I was looking at a situation where maybe I'm done with filling the form, and then as I submit, my land title is confirmed. So that is another asset that I have added, and I've not declared it.
Yes.
So do I have to first now wait for the next declaration?
No, you may not need to wait for the next declaration. As I have said, you request the Inspector General of Government that there is additional asset you want to add. They will open for you the system, you add it, and they close. Okay. They don't want to allow the system keep open to avoid anybody or hackers enter into the system. That is the whole purpose.
That is really very, very important. But also, is there anything like follow-up after declaration? Because if someone can, if some people, we've had stories that some people don't want even to fully declare their assets to the family members. And then what about the Inspectorate of Government? So are you convinced that in the declaration process, people will declare even, they will declare everything that they hold? Or there is a follow-up system that you have?
Yeah, thank you very much. Before we come to that, let me first give the viewers at least some statistics of the performance of the March declaration. Then we should discuss what we do when we complete the declaration. By this March declaration, I would like to say that it was very successful because we registered a 90% compliance. Registered leaders were around 32,068. Then those who complied were 28,856. This gives us the percentage, 90% of the leaders who declared. So surely that was a very, very good performance. On that, allow me to thank everybody who participated. As I have said, the focal persons who are in the institutions who normally help us to compile the leaders' registers, follow up the leaders, even help them really to declare. Because this one being online declaration, there are some leaders that may not be fully conversant with the IT processes. Also thank all the technical people, the accounting officers, the town clerks, heads of institutions who cooperate with us. And then the media played a very big role, like Family TV, who were here. Our team was here trying to mobilize to the declaration. And generally the media has also helped us in mobilizing people to declare. I thank them that success belongs to all of us who put in the effort. They will note, I'm going to just state briefly about the demography of those statistics. You will note that majority of the institutions that got 100% compliance, of course, are ministries, departments, and agencies. But there are some few local government entities, despite having more challenges in terms of internet, and in terms of kind of little knowledge at the level of the local governments there. There are those that also achieved 100%. We have about 5, Iganga, Busia, Kotido, Moroto municipalities, and then Moroto district. So we really employ them for that and keep it up. Yes. Of course, if you notice those that also performed poorly, below 50%, they are also belong to the local government. So we still have that challenge in the local government. I also would like to indicate to you, as it was announced by the Inspector General of Government at the press conference on Thursday, that there are 2 state ministers and 4 members of parliament who did not declare. Now, the question, I come now to your question of what next. Yes, the declaration has ended. We are there processing files of those who have not declared. And it is a breach according to the Leadership Code Act. Failure to declare is a breach according to the Leadership Code Act. We are going to process the files, invite them to come and explain why they didn't declare, because that's what the legal provision is. The natural justice. People must be given a chance to be heard of what happened. If they have any genuine, whoever has a genuine reason, that one will be given a window to do late declaration. But those without any genuine reason, they will be prosecuted under the Leadership Code Act. I mean under the Leadership Code Tribunal. Once they are convicted, the punishments range from fining, warnings, dismissal from office or vacating office for political leaders. And if you are convicted and you are dismissed from office or you vacate office for political leaders, you are not supposed to go back to the public office for 5 more years.
Hey.
Yes.
So it's
that's what the law is.
The law is a little harsh.
So it is, so people really have to be keen to make sure that the law is declared, because it is not uneasy if you are breached the code.
Okay.
Yes.
We see here a category, for example, a list that was issued of those entities with 100% compliance rate. And you also talked about those that are at 50 and then those that are below. So besides the ministers and the MPs, does this apply to all these other people who have not complied 100% as it is needed, that you've just talked about, the fining, warnings and all that?
Yes, as I've said, all the leaders who have not declared, that is breach of the code. Non-declaration is a breach among other breaches. The leadership code is so wide, but here we are only looking at the declaration exercise. The entire 10%, I would say, which did not declare, we are going to busy now already. We have started processing their files to be submitted to be prosecuted in the tribunal. But in the process of processing their files, we shall have to give each and everybody chance to record a statement and explain why he didn't declare. As I have said, if there could be some people who have genuine reasons, like for instance, you may find somebody was sick and down and he had no mental capacity by that time already to declare. That person he can even be given more time to stabilize. After he has stabilized, he will come and do late declaration.
Okay.
There could be somebody who was outside Uganda for maybe official duty, the leader, for like from February and onwards, and he had no access to his documents in terms of agreements, in terms of what. And when it is proved, of course, looking at the passport, looking at the reasons why he was outside and everything, that he has a genuine reason, can be given a chance to do late declaration. But all others who will have no genuine reason will have to be prosecuted in the Leadership Code Tribunal.
We are going to take a short commercial break, but when we come back, there is a very big concern. So someone would ask themselves, how is this declaration attached to the letter hands? Because since it is online, I can fill in what I want, then I don't think there is that track. So we are taking a short commercial break. When we come back, Mr. Magezi is going to take us through how this is connected to especially following up the corrupt leaders in public offices. Stick with us.
Issues at hand. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. Issues at hand.
Welcome back from the commercial break. This is Issues at Hand. We are looking at the declaration of assets, liabilities, and cash. I think everything else might be easy, but declaring cash is another hard task. So, Mr. Magezi, before the break, you had actually taken us through a lot of things, but two things. The question is, we are seeing the Inspectorate of Government as one of the entities that complied 100%. And of course, someone would say, after all, they are the ones running this. But who do you people declare to? Because you're the officers that receive this. So who does the IGG declare to, and the deputies? And I mean,
Yeah, thank you very much. The law as it is, it requires the Inspector General of Government and the two deputies who form the Inspectorate of Government to declare to the Speaker of Parliament. And every time the declaration exercise starts, they normally go there. Even last month, the first week, they went and declared the Speaker, so their declarations are kept by the Speaker and are supposed to be verified by Parliament. That's what the law is. So they don't declare to themselves. But the rest of the staff, they declare to the Inspector General of Government, and since it is read by the leadership and the deputies, and they are verified like any other officers. Before I go to verification, as you had indicated,
yes,
when we are going to the break,
yes,
I would like to say that the exercise was very successful and smooth, but of course with some few hiccups. And the challenges we have been having with that exercise is that leaders wait up to the last day to declare. Yet the whole month from 1st up to 31st. But they just wait that last week and almost last day. So you find they put the system on strain, and you know the system is the way they work. When it is really strained at times, it may shut down. Lucky enough, this time, the system was upgraded and managed to help all the leaders to declare. And also, there is a challenge in updating the registers. As I have told you that the moment you are not on the register, the system will not accept you to declare. So, and it works with the phones and emails. So updating, and people, especially in the countryside, because remember that among the leaders, as I told you, elected leaders, all the district councillors are on the list of leaders. And getting emails and phone numbers from them is at times, a hassle. Yes, so those are the challenges we normally have. And on the other side of leaders, they normally, of course, complain about the internet challenges, especially in the countryside. And as I have said, some little knowledge of IT as it moves toward the countryside. So those are generally the major challenges that we faced in the declaration exercise.
Okay.
Now, after, as I have said, after we have processed those who have not declared and submitted them to the tribunal, then we come to those who declared.
Okay.
Yes, and we verify them. There is what we call disk verification using the verification tool. That tool is run through all the data, and it helps us to pick the high-risk declarations. And it is those...
What do you mean by high-risk declarations?
By the high-risk declarations, I mean that when the verification tool runs through the whole data, it looks at at leaders' incomes, assets, and liabilities. And where the income, according to the verification tool, does not really rhyme with the declared assets and the liabilities, it puts a red flag. Because you may find that somebody's total income is like 10 million. I'm just giving an example. 10 million per month. But you find that at the end of the year, the assets he has cannot be explained by the income. So the tool puts a question mark.
But if it was a donation?
Yes, that one will come under the explanation. That's why I've said that the files are opened, of those which are high risk, then they are taken through the processes of explanation. So if there is any justification of why it may be a donation, it may be inheritance, it may be any other reason, then that comes into your explanation, and it has to be verified. Once you find that everything is okay, you are left free and cleared. Once we find that you are not okay, then you have a case of illicit enrichment.
For this particular one, do I come physically to the inspectorate? Especially
yes, when it comes to verification, you will have to be summoned to the Inspectorate of Government to record a statement and explain. But you should know that the Inspectorate of Government officers will have, with the help of surveillance teams and other agencies, will have also to visit all the places where you declared your assets and verify. If you said you have land in a beam, they will have to go there and look at the land. How big is the land? How much is the land in accordance with the area, the value of the area? Of course, they have to look at the agreement. If you bought it, see how much did you buy it, how much. They have to cross-check with the people or community or the person you bought it from, and the rest. So there will be both electronic verification, which I have said using the verification tool, but also followed up by the physical verification of all the declared assets and liabilities, including retrieving all the bank statements and all the details in all the banks that you have done, and also looking at all the companies that you have declared, and even those you have not declared. They will find the way of how you can have them. And of course, if there is any asset that you have not declared, that one, the state will have to take it over. It means it is not your asset, they will auction it, and the money will go to the consolidated fund.
This is a little unfair, but I look at, still when you go to especially villages, you find that councillors are so much into agriculture. Some don't even have bank accounts. Or for example, when they sell their coffee, they might not bank that money, but they might use that money to invest. So how do you get evidence from that then? Because where they sold their coffee to, they didn't get a receipt. And now they have this money, they have invested the money, but when you look at what the bank statement reads, and the assets they have, they don't really they don't coordinate. So you're not going to take this councillor's property for nothing, yet he indeed worked for it from a side hustle.
Yeah, I agree that there is still a problem of records, especially in this country. It is not only the councillors, even in the city here. Getting records of how people do business is not easy. But at least you can add up and see if there is any genuine reason. As I have said, if somebody sold coffee, you should be able to go around and see that he has either 1 or 2 acres or, acres of coffee. And if it is true, then you must know that that coffee has been making yields. So you estimate and you get up at least to what he has. You may not be actually at 100%, but the divergence should really be minimal. No? Yeah, if you, because the for cases of leaders we normally take to the anti-corruption court or to the tribunal are those with real excess in the Ugandan context. Because if you find that all what you can explain adds up to like 200 million, but you have assets of more than 1 billion, then you have nothing you can do. But for instance, if you find that somebody can all account for like 100 million, but when you add up, it is about 150, then you can give it somewhat. You can see that the range is a smaller range. It could be within the marginal errors of records and non-records.
Okay. What about, is there any red flag for people who under-declare? Because, for example, when you look at someone's finance incomes, they're about 200 million, for example. But when they declare only assets of about 20 million. So is there a system that tracks people who under-declare?
Yeah, as I've told you, under declaration is a breach, so people should really not attempt to declare. We normally use valuers, both government and private valuers, to establish the values of the assets declared. If you look at it and even in your eyes, you say no, like we are in this building here. If you give me the figure that you used 500 million to put up this building, I will definitely doubt it. So in that case, we'll bring the what? The valuer to establish the actual value of the building, both market value and the construction value. And then we shall have to take you on to explain where you got all that money. Yes.
And then
for other hidden assets,
yes,
as I have said, that we use other agencies which can help us track and do the surveillance, but we also call upon all the citizens to really help in this exercise, because it is for all of us that we fight the corruption. If you know there is somebody who has an asset or he has hidden it somewhere, please come and report the Inspectorate of Government. The same applies to the media. We have also been calling upon all the media practitioners to help us in this exercise. We alone, we may not reach in every corner and unearth every hidden property. We also have those properties that people hide outside the country. We have some associations of which we are allied to, the anti-corruption associations, of which we also use to track some of those activities, including our government agencies that we normally use, and including also the embassies. We also pass through the embassies at times to get us such information. Yes.
Then the other thing, as we are coming back from the break, you said that the beauty about this is that it reduces on someone's hunger for dirty money. But someone would really say, okay, just declaring I have this, I have this, I have this, this is what I have on my account, this is what I get as my monthly collection, and then this and this. How is it helping to curb corruption? Because we've seen declarations, but also the graph or the curve of corruption seems not to be lowering.
Yeah, I think that the curve of corruption not lowering is another debate, because one may need to do research and find out. Because we are now living in a free media society where everything is at times amplified.
Yeah.
So one may have to really do research to find out whether actual corruption is. going up or not going up. But as I have said, that the leadership code enforcement actually is a tool to fight against corruption. But in a way, because in a way, it reduces, as I would say, appetite of people to corruptly the resources, because they know that they have to explain them at the end of the day. Because people may take it lightly, that maybe they will not get me, but one day when they open your file and they call you to explain, that's when you see people really sweating. We have seen that, as I have said, that corruption in most cases, especially the bribery, part of it is very difficult to get at the source. Unlike other corruption of where money is embezzled, yes, you can track the trail and say money came from Ministry of Finance, Bank of Uganda, to your budget. What did you do with it and the like? But this other form of corruption, which is mainly done in tenders, because this tendering is one of the processes that is really ruined by corruption and bribery. So that one, somebody will take care, will take keen to know, yes, I've taken this money, where do I put it? Because the law will require that whether you buy an asset, you declare it. If you raise your lifestyle, maybe taking children to very high-ended schools, going for lavish journeys abroad to Dubai and whatever they enjoy, everybody will be monitoring. At the end of the day, you have to be called to explain. We went to Dubai the other side time with the entire family. How much did you spend? Where did you get the money? Now, if people get to know that there is somebody who is going to question and ask anything you are doing lavishly, they will have to really reduce on the appetite of getting that bribe.
Okay. Now, of course, like you told us that leaders declare 3 months in office, as they've just assumed office. After 3 months, they declare. So what if I have this projection that in the 2 years I would have stolen this much? So they make the declaration earlier so that when it happens, it is known as something that will raise a red flag. Do you take note on the verification, especially of what the leaders declare before, within the 3 months of office?
Yes, thank you very much for that. Actually, that is what we call anticipatory declaration, a breach declaration, and it is a breach under the leadership code, of whereby at the entry you claim that you have this, you have this, you have this, so that you know that after, by the time of 2 years, you have acquired some of those to justify that you came up with. Yes, we do verify all the assets and liabilities plus your income at the entry point, and we get to know. If you find that you actually added something you did not have, it is also a breach and can lead you to dismissal or removal from office. Yes.
So after all this, how much time does the verification period take? That, for example, there are those that you're supposed to summon in the tribunal, and then these others with red flags and coming to the tribunal and all that. How long does this entire process take?
The process is very quick, and because the law gives us only 90 days. The moment we start the declaration process, within 90 days we should come up with the report. So we have to be very fast in during that exercise. If you see in that place where for these who have not declared or from MDAs, we expect that by end of May, they should be already prosecuted in the leadership code tribunal. And those from local governments, because we have to move to the regions, they were given up to end of June. They have been taken to the leadership code tribunal. So the normal, the rest of the verification exercise, the law gives us 90 days. Those are 3 months to have concluded the verification and given out the report.
Okay. So after issuing out the report, is this report supposed to be public, or you give it to a particular category of people?
All the reports, up at the end of the verification, we come up with the report, as I have said, and then the action of that report is to prosecute those people to the Leadership Code Tribunal. Those who did not have any justifiable reasons, and those whose assets exceeded, their income and liabilities, those who have unexplained issues, those who hide and they have not declared some of the assets and some of their incomes and some of their liabilities, all of those, we take them to the tribunal and we prosecute them to the tribunal. That's what I told you, and once they are convicted, they are removed from office or fined depending on the magnitude of the matter. If the matter is very small, they can fine them or caution them or warn them. If the magnitude of the matter is big, they dismiss them from office or remove them from the office. And for those who hide the property, as I have said, once it is proved, then that property goes to the government and it is auctioned and you forfeit it.
Have you as the inspectorate, convicted anyone whose property has been taken and sold off?
Yes, there are many cases of people's property that had been taken and sold off, but I didn't come with the statistics of those. I thought I was just only here going to issue the statistics. I mean the results of the March declaration.
Okay. No, but as long as at least
they are there. There are many cases. Those ones I can share them with you, of people whose property have been confiscated, and at times during that process of prostitution, people accept and even give the properties willingly. Yes.
Oh. As we wind up this discussion, I want you especially to tell people about the negative effects of corruption and why it is, like you said, that you use that every Ugandan should be part, that if this person is hiding some property, then people can really say, but there is also this one that belongs to this particular person, as a way of combating corruption and also creating, instilling into a sense of responsibility among the citizens when it gets to the fight against corruption.
Yeah, thank you very much. As I try to go into that, winding up, let me first of all call upon all the leaders and all the public officers that we are going to start the process of assembling the public officers register come July. Of course, we have to undergo the declaration exercise by April next year. So all the public officers, if you know that you work for government and you earn money from government, be prepared to do that so that we make the exercise faster and quicker. As you have said, of course, the effects of corruption are adverse, as you know. They ruin the economy. They make the cost of living very high for all of us. They affect the service delivery, as you know. There has been a lot of outcry with hospitals, with schools, with roads. The other time it flooded here in Kampala and everybody was, up and down. So surely at the end of the day, we are all affected if we allow the corruption to continue and flourish. So I strongly call upon all Ugandans, all the citizens to get up and help. And one way we can do is through the enforcement of the leadership code, as I have said, because it is very easy to identify somebody who has assets or who is living life really beyond his known means. So it is very easy to point out. You may not see him when he is actually receiving the bribe or getting his cut as far as the deal is concerned in corruption, but at least you will see him putting up a building. You will see him putting up a very powerful farm somewhere. You will see him or her taking the children to London for studies. You will really see him driving, the utmost of the vehicle. There's, you know them here, and you will see him really living that life of which you don't know him to be having the income to live. At least that one, everybody can. And once it comes that point, please come and report the Inspectorate of Government, and we work together to make sure that we make this country corruption-free.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you very much.
Magezi. We really appreciate each time we call upon you and you come here. Thank you so much. We really appreciate, and we want to commend your efforts, especially in the fight against corruption. Thank you so much. At least each time the Inspector General of Government comes out to give us statistics, we are sure that there is work that is being done, and that is why they are able to track all those records. So we really appreciate. And to you, our viewer, thank you so much for watching us from where we started from up to here. We've come to the end of Issues at Hand. I've worked with Esther, Patience, Jonan, and from the entire team, we wish you a blessed day.
Yeah, thank you.